Okay, so here we are at the end of a second long and gruelling day, working on the Austin 10 engine. Unfortunately I didn't manage to get it back together yesterday, as you probably noticed. So what we got done today, right, okay, well we had the sump fitted yesterday and we were just waiting for it to dry. Obviously that's dry, that's a piece of cardboard which is allowing me to spin the engine round nice and freely. I've got the head on the engine now. It's only sat there with the nuts and bolts finger tight. I'm missing one on that front stud there, you can see. So rather than have it pulling unequally on the head and warping it, I thought best just to leave it as is. You'll notice I've got a new elbow for the water outlet there. It's in reasonable serviceable condition, so there you go. The hole that you can just see there is the hole where the distributor will go. The distributor at the moment is being cleaned up and has been repainted. The points are to set on it, and then that's ready to rock and roll. If I just come round the front of the engine, you can see the two brackets on the front of the engine there that mount it. The pulley wheel nice and painted up. The water outlet for the heating with the bottom in it. Yay! You can just see the line there is the new copper gasket. Now it's been fitted with some grease so that when you tighten that down, that'll creep slightly, which is intentional. If you leave them dry, they tend to pull in a bit of a horrible way and don't seat very well. And you can also see there that the dynamo bracket's back on. The dust you can see is off my rubber gloves. So the dynamo itself is here. That's being cleaned and is being refurbished. This is where the fan goes, and this is the pulley at the top of the engine. The fan itself is actually over there. That's it there, just drying off nicely. That's also painted black along with everything else. So we've got the engine more or less back together. A few more jobs to do: fitting the distributor, fitting the dynamo. Obviously the starter motor is yet to clean up and fit. Otherwise we're more or less there. Once we've got the head tightened down, then we'll lower it down to the ground, put the gearbox back on. I'm not going to interfere with that. That seemed quite smooth when we had it before, so unless anything untoward happens, I think we'll leave that as is for now. Oh, just one thing. We did do a test on this to make sure that it worked, the dynamo. If you attach a battery to it, obviously it will work in reverse. So instead of it causing a charge, it will just turn into a large fan. We checked it on the old Land Rover battery, and it works just fine. So we feel quite confident with that. I think that's it for the moment. Hopefully you like what you see nearly as much as I do. I'm certainly very pleased with things. And just before we go, I'll just spin this round. See the other side of the engine there, with the cleaned up fuel pump on, the timing case cover, and the exhaust and inlet gasket, all brand new. Everything's been fitted with new gaskets where necessary. I've even put a little bit of high Lamar on there, liquid gasket, just to make sure. But you can see this has got a brand new gasket. This is brand new old stock gasket. I cut a new gasket out of gasket material for the fuel pump, so we should be fine. This has had a new gasket as well, again hand cut. The sump, as I mentioned before, has had a new gasket. The water outlet has had a new gasket, all hand cut again. So we should be hopefully more or less there.